welcome to the Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dowston, and it is our monthly Ching forecast for the month of August 2024. Here we are. Okay, as usual, before we go into the forecast for the month or the week, we go and we recap last month. What were we up to? What was the flows of change that were working through our lives? And we had that lovely combination of Hexagram 58 joy, working with tapping into sharing and communicating and talking and collaborating, right, and connecting with lots of people, 4 changing lines, lots of interaction, lots of decisions around connections and how to move forward. And then we had Hexagram 30, radiance, shining brightly, right, being that bright flame to lead others, to warm others, to see brighter and to have a broader perspective because we can see beyond the peripheral vision we had before. A very powerful combination, and I'm sure I kept you very busy in July as we connected and talked and shared and really opened ourselves up to what it is that we cling to, that we burn with, that we share with, that we engage with others through. So what happened for you? What was July's theme for you? And was there something that connected you to this idea of joy and of radiance, the clinging that you worked through? Please do share comments. Love reading your comments. Okay, so let us get into August. What is the I Ching asking us to pay attention to as we begin this new month and we start working with looking ahead week by week, okay, as we go through August? What is the overall theme of the month that we are connecting to? And we have a lovely synchronicity. You know, I love these things when they line up, because our main hexagram, our first starting energy, our key energy we're working through in the month of August is Hexagram 30, Radiance. Okay, so we finished up July on Radiance as our second hexagram. And here we start August on Hexagram 30, Radiance, or the clinging, as it is also known. Right, very interesting. I love it when you have these kind of patterns and waves. Things are connected to each other. You know, I cast the coins a month apart. You know, how does this process work? I don't know. I'm as baffled as you are. It's wonderful when we have those things that line up. So we're not done with Radiance. We're taking it into August. It's our main theme and flow and focus for the month. What does it mean? There's 2 aspects to this hexagram that's going to bring us some growth and some opportunity this month. The first aspect with radiance, or the clinging, is this idea of fire clings to wood. Okay, it clings to the fuel that provides its nourishment and allows it to burn brightly. We have wet wood. Okay, we don't have a good flame. We have wood that burns too quickly, the wood burns out. And we have to understand that our flame, our brightness, clings to something, is nourished by something. This is a very powerful spiritual hexagram for me always. And it connects to this idea of what do we cling to? What is the bedrock, the values, our core values, our key principles, our spiritual practices, our belief systems, who we are. What do we cling to? Okay, what nourishes this flame? Because if it's not the right fuel, we burn out fast. We don't continue to shine. And it's like that idea of finding a perpetual motion machine, right? Or something that just is a fuel that never dies. Maybe the sun is a good example. It will eventually die, but it will take a long time. That's what we want. We want the ability to cling to something that's going to sustain our fire and help us burn brightly for a very long time to come. And this month, as we have been working with in July, we're going to be connecting and working with what is the fuel that we are clinging to. Symbolically, what is the piece of wood that is our fuel, all right, that helps us burn very brightly, beautiful bright light. Because the second aspect of this hexagram that I alluded to earlier is the radiance part. That when we are bright, when we shine, when we burn, okay, we are bright for others. Right? We are not only bright for others in giving them a light to follow. You know, in the darkness, there's a light. The whole idea of light is so relevant with this hexagram that in the darkness there's a light, and we follow the light, right? We follow out of the darkness, we follow the light, and we symbolically follow the light in our lives, whatever that means, at whatever level that means for you in this month. And so we work with understanding that as we are brighter, as we shine, as we give openly and willingly to others, so we are willing to open up, we can open up the floodgates of light, that as we burn brightly, we create a pathway for others, and we create a safe harbor through which others can follow the light that we are shining, and give them permission to shine brightly as well. Not going to sing that song. Oh, earworm. Okay, so that is a key part of it. And as we shine brightly, what also happens is that our field of vision expands. So now, I often talk with this hexagram of the light being like the campfire where you're out camping and you have the central bonfire and everyone is gathered around the bonfire. That's the focus point, this bonding. It's what we cling to, right? It's what we're bonded to. So we're all bonded through that process and we're connected to the campfire. And as we put more and more logs on it, it's brighter and brighter and brighter, and we can see more, and we feel less fearful because we can see further into the darkness and we can get perspective. And maybe, just maybe, if we are bright enough, we can see something that's sitting outside of our peripheral vision. Okay, things that we couldn't see because we had only this little tiny light here. So our goal, in a nutshell, in August is to shine brightly, understand our radiance, understand our feel, understand that in shining brightly and creating that pathway of light, we encourage others to follow us. We create a mechanism. We help others cling to something to help them be the better person, the higher person, to carve a better, higher path for themselves. So it's a lot of responsibility to be a light bearer, okay, whatever level this applies to you in your business, in your team, as a leader, as a person in your home, as a person leading your family. What does shining brightly and having a bright light mean to you? What does radiance mean to you? What does clinging to truth, to yourself, to your principles, to your religion, whatever it is, what does that mean for you? And is it giving you the feel? Are you petering out? Are you charged up? Have you got this perpetual energy, right, that's going to keep you going, shining brighter and brighter? And wherever we feel out of alignment with that is connecting back to the flame. Okay. Now we have 2 changing lines this month in the 4th and the 6th position. In the 4th position, this changing line is the symbol of a meteor fizzing into the sky, fizzing through the sky as it comes into our atmosphere and burns up, right? And you see the meteor and you go, oh, okay, it's gone, all right? It's a very short burst of light. And what this changing line brings to us, and remember also there's a timing that I often do in the monthly, so just taking a step back, all right, because we've got 2 changing lines. Our first changing line matures up until around about the 10th of August, and then our next one coming next is around about the 20th of August. So really the first third of the month, give or take, this energy, this changing line is strong, building up in strength. Okay, so this fizzing meteor, it has 2 meanings, okay? So keep your eyes open to how it might apply to you in this month. Meaning number 1, all right? There is something in your world, in your life, okay, that's a short and furious fizzle, okay? Okay, that was fun while it lasted. A little sparkler that's all very captivating until, it's gone 30 seconds later. What has entered your world, that's this bright radiance, this bright shiny thing, okay, that's come into your atmosphere that is quick to fizzle out. And we just have to accept that's what it was, okay? It was a fizzler. That's a new word that I've just made up. It's a fizzler, right? It's come in and it's been exciting, but it fizzled out. This could be a connection, a relationship, a partnership, or a potential business deal. It could be lots of different things. But as we watch that kind of meteor come in and we go, oh, that's nice, oh, that's gone. And just accept that that is what it is. It's a momentary burst of light, but it doesn't have legs, doesn't have sustainability behind it. What we also can take from this changing line is not just that, oh, there's something external to me, But it can also be a lesson for us internally that we have to focus on things where we can endure, where our light can go the distance. And highly charged emotions and highly kind of volatile thought states create this idea of this fizzing that then dies out, or the enthusiasm that boots up that then doesn't last. And our task is to, wherever we can, is to do things that last, that we make decisions about lasting value, that we commit ourselves to things that continue, that endure, that continue to give, that continue to bring light. And so perhaps part of our thinking, particularly in the first third of the month, is being cautious around ideas and approaches and projects and strategies that are very exciting but are short-lived. Okay, they're the meteor that's, okay, it doesn't have long-term value, so why do it? And so we think about, okay, let's reframe our thinking on this discussion. Perhaps there's a new strategy at work, or there's a new product you're wanting to develop, whatever it is that you do. You can apply the same concept in your home environment. What is it that we're contemplating that doesn't necessarily have long legs? It's a short-term thing that we can put our energy behind, but it's going to fizzle, okay? It's a fizzler. All right, so that might just help us spot some things as we go about our month, first, third, just keeping our eyes open for where this meteor arrives, okay? And just appreciating it for the moment. It's a very brief moment. There's not even time to get your phone out to take a photo of the meteor. The only way you can get it on a video, these people that capture images of these meteors is they're driving around with a dash cam all the time, okay? The meteor comes and you just have to appreciate the burst of energy. Just appreciate it in the moment, because we can't capture it long term. It's there and then it's gone. Fizzled. Okay. So that's in the first third. Then we go from that changing line in the fourth place up to the sixth position, the culmination right at the top. And that matures from the 10th of the month round about to the 20th. Okay. Use that timing as a guideline. It's not a natural law, okay? Thou shalt, all right? No. It's a guideline to observe and help you create structure with the hexagram throughout the month, throughout the period we've asked about, being August. This changing line in the sixth position, I like to call off with their heads, okay? And it speaks about tackling a problem, tackling an issue, and there's a lot of people context around how this changing line is described, okay? You've got these wayward generals that are like kind of going off on their own, and they've got the colonies are misbehaving, okay, and the leader of the army, the leader of the kingdom is got to take vigorous action to pull things back, all right, take aggressive action to fix the problem. It might not be a person or a performance issue or, you know, a relationship issue, but it's that kind of idea of taking charge and getting rid of the riffraff, okay, clearing out of the army, the corrupt officials, right, off with their heads, okay. All right, so that idea of being in your kingly energy, your queenly energy, and getting rid of their heads, right, getting rid of the things that are problems, that are negative influences, that are done their time. There's a very vigorous energy around creating clarity, creating brightness, releasing brightness, by releasing and getting rid of things that are actually a problem, okay? Just taking it off at the knees, or rather at the neck. Sorry for the rather violent analogy there. But that's what, if you go and pick up a book, all right, that's what it's going to refer to. The king sets out with his armies are marching, and he takes off their heads, okay? All right, so those are two changing lines, two energies for us to work with. One is being wary that a meteor is not a long-lasting impact. Enjoy it while it lasts, okay? And don't be the meteor. Don't fizzle out on people. Be sustainable and long-lasting, okay? And dedicated. Those are things that carry us forward into the long term, even though sometimes they might not feel as exciting as a meteor feels, okay? So where does that lead to? Second hexagram, okay? So the two changing lines transform the first hexagram into a second hexagram, sometimes referred to as the outcome hexagram, okay, where this change is transforming into. Where do we land up at the end of the month, okay, transformed. I like using the word victory hexagram. What is our path to victory? How do we move forward and encapsulate the learning of the second hexagram? And it is a very interesting combination to go with the first. Very interesting, because it is hexagram 36, darkening of the light. We have a light, brightness, and darkening of the light. It's a strategy, okay? This hexagram, its strategy is to recognize that we face some situations, some environments, okay, where there are elements that are not that conducive, okay? There might be people, there might be circumstances beyond our control otherwise, but the wolves are a-circling, okay? And it's that idea of when we're in the forest at night and we know there's wolves, we can hear them in the distance, right, calling to each other, and we need to have a fire to cook our food, so we bury the fire under the ground, okay, out of sight. We do a nice pit fire, and we take precautions to hide ourselves to avoid the danger, okay? So how is this going to work for us in August? These two hexagrams, they seem to be opposites. One is saying, shine extremely brightly, okay, radiance, and then the other one is saying, go undercover. Okay, so I think time will tell for each of us. How do these two parts link up? You might find the first half of the month shining brightly and expanding that light out is a powerful strategy that wins. And in the second half of the month, withdrawing that light and just having a little bit of downtime and quiet privacy around your light is the right strategy for the second half. Let's see. But I always like to weave these stories together. We shine brightly, we push out our radiance. Okay, we have these two changing lines. Watch out for the fast fizzlers, okay, right? And get rid of the heads, okay? And then there's this process of recognizing where we are exposed, where are the wolves, and hiding that part. So there's almost two processes. What do we shine brightly on, and what do we conceal? Okay. I like to think of this darkening of the light as a time period where you are developing something, okay, on the quiet, right? And you're keeping it private. You're not casting your pearls before swine. You're keeping it quiet, and you're working on it, and you're just letting the environment and the difficulties in the environment pass you by. You're biding your time. You're keeping what you're working on under wraps, okay? You're keeping it secretive. Keeping secrets is a positive energy around this hexagram. And what you're doing is you're doing that to just have a little bit of a breather, a bit of a buffer to the external world on a particular issue. Okay, so you might find two parts of your life, two phases of the same thing. Okay, let's use this as an experiment to see how it transforms and transmutes our month. And the thing about hexagram 36, darkening of the light, is that it's a time period. It's a time to go within. It's a time to recognize that there are challenges externally that are not of the highest and the best. Okay, maybe they're not even yours, right? Just stay out of it. It can actually be just a question of just staying out of the drama, staying out of the situation, not standing and stepping into the fray and saying, I can help you. I know what to do. Look at me. And then all the wolves go, ooh, lunch. Okay, that's not what we want to do. So we have to find a way of understanding our field, what we cling to, and this idea of what we protect. Maybe this month, let's see how it goes, the idea of what we cling to, right, the fuel that we cling to, is going to be a more predominant flow of change that comes up for us rather than the very external bright shining. And we go through a process of thinking about our fuel and thinking about what we cling to, and is it the right fuel? Is it nourishing and sustaining for the long term? Is it the meteor? Okay, where are the negative elements that need to be cut out? Where are the heads that need to roll? And then we withdraw and we hide some parts of our light from others or from the situation just to see it through, to get perspective and to wait it out to a better time. Okay, lots of protection of your energy for this month is very wise. Well, let's see how it all transpires for us. If it was meaningful for you, as always, a thumbs up, like would be great. And if you're new to the channel, why don't you go and subscribe and hit the bell icon on YouTube so that you get the episode straight into your app as it comes out. Same with the podcast version. Hit the follow button. And I will see you very soon for our first full weekly overview for August. We have, of course, already dipped into August with the last weekly forecast. And so let's get stuck into, very shortly, the full weekly forecast for the first week in August. And we'll get going with the light that we are shining and we are protecting. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.